Hey guys, this is Sundown here. I apologize for the lighting in this room. It's kind of dark, and I've got right light on as well, so it's actually really dark. This is a little bit lighter than it actually is. So yeah, it's gonna be Fairy Tale chapter 529 right about now. It's called Teacher, and the cover page is the team that went to Galuna Island. So Gray, Natsu, Urza, Happy, Lucy, and they're fighting against his now friend and their friend Leon. So the chapter starts with the team aboard Christina hightailing it out of wherever they were, wherever the war is occurring, and they're heading to some place we don't really know about yet. Now, my first issue here is, and I like this chapter. I thought this chapter was okay. I'm going to tell you straight away. It was about a 6.5, 7. It wasn't too bad a chapter. I mean, there wasn't anything to really downgrade it, but there were little issues. So my first issue was they're in Christina, which we've seen before. It's never really demonstrated an ability to be like rapid, to be absolutely fast in the air. And my first issue with this chapter is that they're outpacing a dragon, and not just any dragon. They're outpacing Acnologia in the air. But who knows? Maybe Christina, like I said, has got some juice on that ship or something. She's just flying through the air real fast. I don't know how she's doing it. But we get a moment between Urza and Gerard. For all you Urza Gerard fans out there, if you don't know, I'm not a big fan of Urza because of her ability to win every fight, because she's Urza, which really royally annoys me. So then the mysterious lady tells Wendy that the ship has been constructed so that dragon slayers don't feel sick on it. Now, this was also another issue for me. How does it remove the dragon slayer's sickness? Wasn't that a vestibular thing? Wasn't that an issue of balance and how they perceive it? I mean, an issue of how their ears perceive their balance and how their eyes perceive motion. That's really the issue they have. That's why they get motion sick. So does it remove all perception of motion to those on board? Because it obviously doesn't. They're flying all over the place every time the ship turns. So I'm not sure how it does it, but it's just a minor thing. That's just a bit nerdy. So then they're still escaping, and they're trying to anger Acnologia so that he follows them big time. And then they turn the ship. They turn the ship to fire a cannon at him, and they turn it 180 real quick, breaking all laws of physics. But once again, this is a magical universe, so they might be able to do that. I don't know. So they then fire Jupiter, and this is another issue I had. There are a lot of issues. It was a decent chapter, but there were a few minor issues, and I'm swearing that Jupiter takes a long time to charge, and they fired it like straight up in this chapter. So I just assume, for the benefit of the doubt, that they charged it beforehand. So Acnologia gets hit, but as we all expected, he just munches it down. He's the magic dragon. He can ingest any form of magic and really use that to aid him. So they then resort to trying to shoot Acnologia with bullets. It's something like 120mm bullets, but that's kind of a desperate move. But seeing as they were just trying to anger him, it's a pretty good move to make. So then Acnologia ups his speed, which was a good move. Maybe he should have started with that. But a side note here is, what I liked about Acnologia, and what I've always liked about Acnologia, was his entire demeanor and his attitude towards humans, and how he deemed them so low that he wouldn't even speak to them. He'd treat them as like insects or ants. He wouldn't even pay them any attention. But now he doesn't mind speaking to every human that comes by. He'll talk to them. He'll fight them, whatever. And I just don't like the fact that his whole attitude towards humans being so low that he wouldn't even address them has gone down the drain. That's kind of, I like that about him. So they then continue to pace Acnologia. We get more fan service between Urza and Grey for all you guys. And then Wendy recognizes finally the stranger, and we find out that she's Lucy's ancestor, Anna, who a couple other theorists, I think for Neverworld, actually shouted out that she would be Anna or something along those lines. I thought that the lady we saw last chapter, who is the lady who is Anna, I thought she would be like the Edolas version of Acnologia, but I'm completely wrong. So Wendy addresses Anna as Miss, as in the way we address a teacher. We call her Miss. And I think Gerard notices this, or was it Urza notices this? So it turns out that Anna taught Natsu and the other dragon slayers how to read, write, and she taught them about culture when they were younger. And she went with them through the Eclipse Gate like 400 years ago, so that they could come and battle Acnologia together, and she could kind of raise them. She was kind of like the mother figure towards the dragon slayers. So we then go to Lucy, who's with Gray, and she's crying about Natsu's life being a book, how he is END the book, but that's not something any of us really give a shit about, seeing as he won't die, because this is fairy tale. He's not gonna die anytime soon, and he's probably not gonna die ever. So that wasn't really anything that meant anything, considering we've seen Gajeel come back, we've seen freaking everyone come back in this arc. So then Zeref and Natsu are continuing to fight. Zeref's gone he's gone full crazy ass bitch mode. Natsu's still confirming he is indeed Natsu. Every time someone calls him something different, he's like, no, I'm Natsu. But yeah, it's his decision. He can be whoever he wants to be. Anna and the Dragons, we find out actually, Anna and the Dragons and the Slayers came to this age because it was more abundant in magic. So, that would aid them in their fight against Acnologia, which seems to be their main goal. Their main goal is to fight Acnologia, to get rid of Acnologia. So we find out Zeref constructed the gate and Anna opened it. Now, I didn't think Zeref would have constructed the gate, but it makes sense because she said he was researching time. And the only reason he would be researching time is to bring back Natsu, which was kind of his thing. He wanted to bring back Natsu from the dead. So he probably would have wanted to go into the past, which is what she said. She said he wanted to investigate the past or go back into the past. So Anna opened the entrance and they contacted Layla and she opened the exit. But the only issue I have here is, some of you guys might know, maybe it's just my lack of knowledge. How did they contact Layla before the gate was opened? Maybe you guys know. So Anna was going to explain everything to Layla and possibly the Dragon Slayers when she got there, but due to an unforeseen event, an accident, they were all dispersed due to this said accident. So she then went to try and find each Dragon Slayer, but after finding them, which took 5 years, she pinpointed where they were located. She thought it wasn't time to contact them. Now, I was a bit mad about this. I thought, if your goal was to get rid of Acnologia, surely she should have been there. She should have contacted them to get rid of them, to get rid of Acnologia, to guide the Dragon Slayers, train them, prepare them for Acnologia. He's not just some minor character. So this was a shoddy reason not to gather them, but then she provides a reason, saying that she was investigating a thing. Now, we don't know what this thing is, but she says that it will seal Acnologia in the ravines of time. So the only theory I have at this moment, which a lot of you guys will probably be thinking exactly the same thing, because the next chapter is called Neo Eclipse. So New Eclipse. So they're going to throw Acnologia into an eclipse gate. But the only way I could see that they could trap him in time is if they opened an entrance to an eclipse gate and threw Acnologia in, but there was no exit, there was no made exit. But then would the entrance work? If there's no entrance, can there be an exit? Or if there's no exit, can there be an entrance? That's what I was trying to say. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do this, but it seems like a good idea. They're going to try and throw him into an eclipse gate and just let him deal with time. He's going to get screwed because no one lives forever. So I think that was the end of the chapter. That's all of it. Like I said, it was a pretty good chapter, just little minor things between Acnologia and the ship in terms of pacing. The Urza and Gerard fan service, I wasn't a fan about that. The whole Anna and the Dragon stuff, that was pretty good. I thought it's a good way to bring about their education and how they knew how to read and write and things like that, how they knew about culture, how they knew how to speak as well, their current form of English or Japanese, because she taught them. The dragons obviously didn't know how to write. It couldn't have been Igneel teaching Natsu how to write. So yeah, that was good. Like I said, the chapter was a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. It wasn't a bad chapter. It was a decent chapter. But there were little things. So let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you can find my Twitter. It should be in the little comments box thing. In the description, that's what it's called. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a few minutes because I'm gonna be recording my Nanatsu no Taizai or 7 Deadly Sins review, so hold tight.